Keep an eye
so-
on me, keep me under
Yeah,
control.
keep it under control.
In conjunction with
We're at-
the student choirs? See.
I'm sorry, we're at Victor Live, we're live, we're gonna stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So we're gonna start off with police so that the budget committee members that came would have a chance to ask a couple questions, because this is one we didn't get to. So Jeff is, although this isn't the budget that he would put together because he wasn't here for it, this is a pretty much a copy of last year's budget, because we really didn't have, had a lot of fluctuation. We had to have something to go on. Jeff has looked at it, so he might be able to answer a question or two. I might be able to answer a question or two. We'll give it a try. So we'll start right off with full-time wages, which is a 3% increase for them this year contractually. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and ask as I'm going through.
I did come up with different numbers, so
What did you come up with?
it's always a problem with me. Well, so I think the current, I have the current at 433,447 plus 3% at 13,338. So 446 versus 0608.
Which is including the chief.
I did.
And did you figure out each person's wages?
So I have Officer 1 at 77,000, Officer 2 at 64, Officer 3 at 82.
What were you using as their base wages?
What they're currently being paid.
I have one at 39.86,
Yes,
37.19,
yes,
31.51, and 31.51.
Yep.
And then the open position,
the chief's position.
no, a fifth officer it's vacant
Oh,
right now.
Oh, sorry, okay.
Maybe that's what making up the
Oh,
difference.
yeah.
Okay.
I thought Megan said they were fully
I
staffed.
thought,
No, we've been down one officer since I got here. But she
Right
did,
now, part-time officers are picking up the slack
Right.
of the full-time position that they.
right, so we're covering the shifts with the part-timers, but there is a
So
full-time
we
position
truly
being
are
advertised.
Not fully staffed.
Is the 90,000 for a chief position enough to attract a qualified chief?
Probably not. Maybe, go ahead, answer that question.
It's gonna depend on what you look for a chief, but that's definitely low end. That's low end no matter what. But if you find somebody young that's coming in that wants to try and do something, they might be willing to start at that. But I don't think you're going to,
What would your recommendation be for a range?
a minimum 95, probably, and depending on what you're gonna get for experience, I'd say anyways from 95, taking into account, I get it, it's a small town. I mean, I lived that, so I'd say 95 to 105.
And then I have another question. In your professional opinion, do you believe that 5 officers is enough staffing to ensure that, one, our officers have safe numbers, and 2, to adequately serve the residents of Sedatus with the amount of calls that have been received? Do you believe that 5? I know before Chief Baker had 9. And we kind of, and then I know Lisbon had kind of came back and said 8.
7, I think. I think
7.
he proposed 7, yeah.
And so do you feel that 5?
I think we can get it done now with 5 in the part-timers. My personal opinion is no less than 6. I know one of the things I'll fall back on my experience a lot, but back before I was ever even thinking about being a police officer, the Maine Chiefs Association did an assessment of Mechanic Falls, which is 3,100 people. It wasn't even 3,100 back then, it was smaller. And they said at a minimum to properly staff a police department would be 6 full-timers. And that was back in the 80s. So I think a minimum, you should have 6 full-timers out working the road, and a chief that's taking care of the stuff inside the building. Obviously, a full-time administrative assistant, and that would be the bare minimum in my opinion. Am I willing to try and do stuff for less, at least get things back on track and where they are? Absolutely. I mean, I'll work with what I've got, but if you want my honest opinion, what I think it should be, the minimum should be 6.
So if we were able to hire another full-timer, could you staff that 6 with the part-time to get by?
Possibly. I think we're gonna look for the full-timer, obviously, but I think right now, with the amount of hours our part-time can give us,